In today's video, I got another budget 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery for you. Let's see if this is worth buying. Hello everybody, my name is Dan. Welcome to Freely Roaming. So today I've got another lithium iron phosphate battery. This one is from the company Redodo. I've heard it pronounced Redodo, Redodo, but I don't know for sure, but I believe it should be Redodo for a couple of reasons. You guys can be the judge. Just by the way this logo is laid out, it looks to me like there's a little bit extra space between the D and the O, the first D and the O. So that makes me think that it's Redodo, and also the word red is in the color red. And on top of that, they have this little cardboard instructions manual that's in it that has a red panda as their kind of mascot. I assume that's a red panda. So I'm guessing this is a red panda named Otto? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If this packaging looks familiar to some of you, that's because Redodo has rebranded themselves from the company Zoom, I believe. I've never tested a Zoom's battery, but it looks pretty much like this. I think it had the same tagline, younger, bolder, stronger. Not really sure what that means, but I'm assuming from the colorful packaging and these taglines and the sort of youthful, hip-looking graphics in their manuals and quick start guides, that they're designing this for a younger audience perhaps. But either way, this is a pretty standard form factor for these Chinese-made lithium iron phosphate 100 amp hour batteries. They look exactly like all the other ones that I've tested before, and the fact that you know, this is just maybe perhaps a rebranding of another one isn't really that big a deal to me. That tells me that this is kind of a tried and true form factor. It's got a carry handle on the top. On the top you got your positive and your negative post. It comes with these insulating caps that go inside the posts, and then to sort of set it all up, you take these insulating caps off and you get these M8 16 millimeter posts that go in to them. This is how you connect your conductors. So you've got a flat washer and a lock washer to go with your M8 post. And then once they're screwed on, you have also these little black and red caps that you can stick over the top to help you prevent any possible of shorts if they come into contact with something metallic. This is kind of a no frills version of their battery. It is listed MSRP at $299, but right now, in fact, started yesterday, November 7th, and it goes until November 12th. So for a week, they're having a 5% off deal on the entire site. So you can get a discount on this. And it's already a really competitive price at $299. Sometimes you find them for even further discounted on Amazon and places like that, but I'll put links in the description below for where I can find the best price on these. So even though they make this sort of entry-level 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, they actually make 3 different flavors of this battery. There's no low temperature cutoff, there's no Bluetooth module, there's no on-off switch, there's no internal heating, there's nothing like that. However, they do make all of those if you're willing to pay a little bit more. At I think $450 or $460, you can get their auto heating battery, 100 amp hour as well, and that's got all the features. So this one is the entry level. If you don't need low temperature cutoff, if you don't plan on using this in below freezing temperatures, this is perfectly fine. If you want Bluetooth connectivity, you can always use something like a Victron Smart Shunt that connected this, that can measure the inputs and outputs of the battery to get that similar type of connectivity. In the packaging, besides just the battery itself, I already showed you guys earlier, you get this quick start guide that I think is pretty nice. It's well laid out for somebody who just wants to, you know, open the battery up and get to using it right away. It tells you this is the operations guide. They also have customer service email right there. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can contact them. If you want more information, it comes with this product manual, which has all kinds of information. It's actually really well designed product manual. Operating voltage is 12.8 volt. That's actually the nominal voltage. The operating voltage, I believe they should have said nominal voltage here, because the operating voltage is all the different voltages, the range of voltages from 14.6, which I believe is the fully charged voltage. It can go all the way down to 10.0. And generally speaking, that's what BMSs will have lithium iron phosphate 4S versions to be their operating range. And it is 100 amp hour, which means if you multiply the amps with the volts, you'll get the total capacity in watt hours. And that is 1,280 watt hours. That's pretty standard. Here's a table of contents: battery parameters, charging methods, how to estimate capacity, series parallel connections. You can connect up to 16 of these together with 4 in parallel. 4 sets of 4 in parallel, making 16 of these. That'll give you over 20 kilowatt hours of battery capacity, which is pretty big. And it's not recommended for you to connect different batteries from different manufacturers of different capacities together in parallel or series that way. If you know what you're doing and you know that the components are similar, it's probably okay. Some of that is just the manufacturer not wanting you to buy batteries from somebody else. If you're going to buy 16, they want you to buy all from them. But also a big part of that is compatibility. You want to make sure all the components are the same. And by buying from the same manufacturer and also buying them at the same time, you'll know that they're going to have a very similar build date. For example, this one has a build date stamped right, or on a sticker right here. 2022, August 4th. And that's when this battery came off of the assembly line. And that's why that sticker's there. Okay, so a little bit more about the information on here. Prismatic cells inside. 100 amp hour nominal capacity, 100 amp hour usable. So they're claiming that you should be able to use all of it. And I will show you in my capacity test whether that's true or not. There they have nominal voltage, which is correct here on this page. The total energy in watt hours. Charging voltage, 14.2 to 14.6. Recommended charge current is 20 amps, which is actually kind of low. That's only a 0.2 C charge rate. And also there's all the other information about max discharge current, also the burst discharge current, 280 amps, continuous load power, and stuff like that. What they claim that this battery has is it has 4,000 complete cycles. So they claim you'll be able to get 100% of its capacity, draining it from 100 to 0, 4,000 times, which is pretty incredible. That's more than 10 years of running it every day at full capacity, top to bottom. In 6,000 cycles, they claim that you should be able to retain up to 80%. And this one I've not seen before. This is a claim that they say to get up to 60% of its capacity, meaning that you can get up to 60% of its total capacity, which is 768 watt hours at 15,000 cycles, which is an obscene amount of power. So when people say lithium iron phosphate batteries, they're good for, so many thousand cycles. What they're not telling you is that, well, how many cycles are they still usable? At what point is it just trash? Well, they're telling you at 15,000 cycles, you can still get up to 60% of its capacity. So, 6,000 cycles at 80%, that is by no means the end of the life of batteries like this. Just looking through here, the owner's manual, if you guys get one of these and you want to learn more about lithium iron phosphate batteries, I would say they've done a really good job with the product manual. This is a handy little booklet to have for somebody who's learning about how lithium iron batteries should be charged, should be used, and some additional data about it. There's just a ton of information. This shows you different ways you can configure multiple cells. And if you want to create your own diagram, they leave you a little page for that. They also tell you if you have custom inverter settings you want to have. They give you some recommendations for that. So they put in a lot of effort into putting this owner's manual together. I'm pretty impressed. Of course, this video wouldn't be complete without making sure that this thing actually does what it claims, which is, will it pass the DC capacity test? Well, let's find out. All right, this Redodo, or Redodo, it is more than halfway through. 603 watt hours so far. So, actually no, a little less, because this would be a 1280 watt hour. I'm expecting at least 1280 out of this. So this is also just about halfway, a little shy halfway. So we'll see how it goes. It is at 12.7 volts, so still going strong. The Redodo here still doing good. We're only at 12.6, 12.7 volts, still pulling 10 amps. We are at 848 watt hours, almost 6 hours and 40 minutes in. Doing really good. This will probably hit 1200 watt hours is what I'm guessing. So this has got another probably 3 hours to go. So there you go. That's the capacity test. As you can see, this thing passed with flying colors. We got 1,336.38 watt hours out of this. That is 104.4% of its rated capacity. So we got 104.4 amp hours out of a 100 amp hour battery. That is actually, it's starting to just be what I'm expecting these battery manufacturers to have now. That's kind of become a standard. And in fact, if we don't hit 100%, at least 100% of these batteries, that's a little disappointing. Now, that's different than power stations, though. Power stations have batteries inside it, and then they use a lot of circuitry to kind of redirect powers to AC or USB ports or inverters and stuff like that. So power stations generally are going to have less than 100% output, and that's expected. But batteries like this themselves, they should have 100% or more. And this one performed great. In fact, I think this is one of the best performing 100 amp hour batteries I've ever tested. As this one weighs in at only 25 pounds, for those of you that are new to lithium iron phosphate batteries, you will know that to get this kind of capacity in the lead acid, you're talking at least 3 to 4 times the weight, because you're talking about probably having a 200 amp hour lead acid battery, AGM battery, to be able to have this kind of output. And that's not even talking about the amount of cycle life that you can get with lithium iron phosphates. So if you're looking for a lithium iron phosphate battery for an off-grid house, for your camper, I would recommend the Redodo. It performed really well. Before November 12th, you can go and get 5% off directly from their website. I'll also add a link to their Amazon in the description below. I hope you guys found this video helpful in your search for lithium iron phosphate batteries. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.